So at the time, there was a whole group of guys that were just the young guys in the comedy store at that time.
Right.
So there are like 7 of them who are just about in every scene together. So they didn't get anywhere near Tony Danza or Michelle Pfeiffer. Which, by the way, you watch this and you go, why is Michelle Pfeiffer in this movie?
Why is she here?
Yeah. Because she's so young that they just gave her movies.
Yeah. I like any of the movies where it's just like the hot girl's too hot. We're like, okay, this is just ridiculous.
Yes.
This is not a regular gal.
844 Rock God, call in and win, and it'll be the best high school movie.
Yes.
You could. Now, most high school movies are only enjoyed by people who are not yet in high school.
My favorite ones I probably all saw while I was in elementary or middle school.
Yeah. Because you're like, how am I going to deal with this?
Yes, and you think you're going to have all those same problems and same excitements.
Right.
You're like, oh, so this is what it's going to be like. Exactly this.
Yeah. And the thing is like, you know, occasionally they hit on something, but most of the time you look at a lot of people in the movie and they're so much older than a high school person.
Yes. Yeah, a lot older. Yeah, some of them are oftentimes pushing 30 or even over.
Yeah. Yes, it's very, very true. I mean, there are people in their 30s. Well, we brought up Greece, and those were old people.
Yes, they were full-on adults.
Oh, well,
I believe one of the fun facts is that Jan, Brescia, was fully gray. They had to dye her hair black. She had gray hair already.
That is hilarious. Because she looks like one of the younger people.
She does.
Like, even Olivia Newton-John had been around at that point as a pop star for like 6 or 7 years. And she wasn't a pop star at 14.
Rizzo and Kaneki looked like they already had 3 kids.
Right.
Like they looked, like they had a mortgage to worry about.
Well,
they looked like full adults.
Kaneki was on Taxi, so he had already been established. John Travolta had already been established, not only with a TV show, but then the biggest movie of like fucking 77.
Right.
All right, 844 Rock God. That's 844-762-5463. Let's first start with Scott. Scott, I believe you're calling from South Carolina.
Hey, Ron. How are you?
Hey.
I think Fast Times at Ridgemont High is right up there.
It's going to be tough to beat for a couple reasons. Number one, it's probably closer to what that period was like. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing nostalgic about that period.
Right.
The music is great. Most of the people in the movie went on to become
it's a
giant stars. There's like at least 3 Oscar winners in that fucking movie.
Yeah, it was a star-studded cast before we were aware it was star-studded.
Right. And Sean Penn basically invented the stoner surfing dude. And to me, the guy who stole the movie really didn't go on to stardom. And that was Damone, who was like, you're telling me that you don't want these tickets?
Damone should have been bigger.
He should have been fucking bigger.
Because he was so good in that.
I think eventually he went on and did, he had a run on that show, the all-girls show, Facts of Life.
Oh, really?
Where, well, not Tootie, what's the other funny girl's name?
Okay, hold on. Why do am only thinking of Tootie?
Yeah.
Earl, this is your wheelhouse. Who are the other girls?
It was the character played by Mindy Cohn. I can't remember her name, though.
Mindy Cohn.
Yeah.
He took her virginity on the show.
Oh, my God.
And I only knew that later when I was like, whatever happened to Damone? You're going to be tough to beat, my friend.
Yeah, I know. That's a hard one.
Cameron Crowe's first movie writing. It's a strong one. All right, do we have to put on hold or we can let them go?
We can let them go.
Okay.
All right.
Chris, you feel like you're on the job here. I don't have to worry. Why am I getting a thumbs up instead of talking? What's happening? He doesn't want to talk to me.
Can't.
Peter, Peter in Pelham?
Hey, Peter.
All right. Is there a reason we don't have Peter despite all these?
There he is.
So,
yeah,
I gotta say,
yes.
Just one of the guys for sentimental reasons.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
But
the sentimental reason is the first time I saw naked breasts.
Okay, no, just one of the guys is the cross-dressing movie,
Yes.
right? Who were not supposed to believe that this gorgeous girl is also a guy. And then you saw breasts. All right, that's in the running. Chris, Strong Island. Chris.
Hey, how you doing, Ron?
Hey.
I'm on the first high school movie out the box, Blackboard Jungle. You got Sidney Poitier, you got Glenn Ford as the teacher being bullied, you got Vic Morrow as the douchey student who's bullying the teacher, Jamie Foxx's first role before he was Klinger.
Now, here's the funny thing about that. Vic Morrow was a teenager. You don't believe it for a second, but this was like one of the first movies, right?
Yeah.
Where they were like, oh, we don't understand the kids.
Right.
And the kids may be the enemy.
Right.
That became a regular thing in Hollywood, but this was very, very close.
It was basically early Dangerous Minds, right? Like the first Dangerous Minds.
Yeah, it was a Dangerous Minds type of a thing. That's a good call on it. Let's go over to John. John, where are you calling from?
Hey, guys, here in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, my God, John, please hang up the phone and get out.
Do you have sandbags?
We'll be doing it. But, man, yeah, you said Hollywood Nights, and it's like, holy smokes, that was such a great movie. It was just really...
It was a lot of fun.
It was a great movie. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, and the contest where he's playing the violin and just stupid shit, but it hit all the right notes. So...
all right, John, you're in the finals here. Please keep an eye on that storm. All right, buddy?
Take it seriously.
Take it seriously.
You got to take it seriously.
I've been watching the Weather Channel for the last 24 hours, and they will say stuff like, have fresh water.
Yes.
If you have a friend on higher ground, go to his house.
Pack a go bag. Did they mention that? The go bag?
Take your pets along. You don't want your pets stuck in a hurricane without you. Andy, Central PA.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddy.
I'm going to go with all right. Dazed and Confused.
Man, that's up there for me. I mean,
It's a near perfect movie.
It's pretty damn perfect.
Yeah. I think I love just about everybody in that movie. Also a star-making tour de force, but also one of the few things that looks, feels, smells, tastes like the 1970s. You know what I mean? That's not some weird, disco arrived, or it just fucking feels like having nothing to do being a blast.
And it's weird because it does feel authentic. Like, even if you don't know, like, if you haven't experienced it, it's a movie that feels authentic. And I love watching it or discussing it with people because I think everybody either like relates to somebody, like I was this person in high school, or I'm so that person with my group of friends, or this reminds me of a dude I know. Everybody has those experiences. Like Parker Posey is my favorite character in the entire thing. Because
is that her first thing too?
I think it is. You could be right. And she's so funny and she's so excellent in it. But the girl with the curly red hair is my favorite because like I found her relatable. Her friends were very relatable to me.
And she married Beck.
True.
Yeah. Ben Affleck playing a fucking douchebag, which is great. Roy Cochran in that movie, unbelievable. God damn, it's good.
Yeah.
Cole Hauser plays a dick. That was dead on. It's just Nicky Katt is in that movie. He's the best in that movie.
Yeah. And all those like dynamics, it seems like for the actors were so fun to play. Like whether you were playing bully or bullied,
right?
You really got to like go deep into that person, and like it seems like they had a lot of fun with it.
It's really weird because like this is basically my fucking, my generation exactly, but it's the other side of the country from me.
Right.
but was the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally the same. And then Richard Linklater did that animated movie about NASA in the 60s.
Yeah.
Other side of the country, literally the same as my experience.
So interesting.
It's so weird that you really, because we always think that if you're from a certain part of the country, you're a certain way. But also, if you're born at a certain time,
yeah,
you can't get out of that shaping you.
No.
Because of TV, music, and movies. Let's go to our friend Carla Finch. Carla.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Hey, mine is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I mean,
because what principal doesn't hunt down a student that doesn't report in that day? So,
first of all, it's so fucking funny. It's so incredibly funny. Way funnier than it should be.
Yes, I would agree that like the comedy of it is like kind of a step above what you would expect just a regular high school movie to be.
The scene that he has the towel wrapped around his head like a girl and he comes walking, he's prancing out. You're like, is he a gay kid?
Right.
And that's the way we still feel about him to this day.
To this day, we know. Is he a little bit? But then he's with Sloane there.
Sloane is the perfect girlfriend that anyone's ever had in any movie.
Perfect girlfriend with a perfect jacket. I mean, I think about that Sloane jacket so often. Like, it's such a good, just like that white fringe jacket that she wears through the movie.
You've got the 8-ball jacket now.
That's
true. You're wearing it today.
You're right. I shouldn't complain.
Carla, you're definitely in the running here.
Love you guys.
Yeah. Chris Stanley's going to pick because we can't let Earl pick.
No. Chris is going to be our guy.
Today's our day to be mean to Earl after we yesterday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yes. Chris,
you're on the hot seat, dude.
Yeah. Chris is hot shit producer. Literally. Hey, let's go to John in Yonkers.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, John.
How are you?
What's up?
Gotta go to the Breakfast Club.
You know, it's like funny because I shouldn't still enjoy watching that movie, and I do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm aware of what's cheesy and unrealistic and kind of like lame about it, and it is so goddamn watchable. I will watch it at any point of the movie, and I'm like, well, now I got to finish it if the Breakfast Club is going to be on.
It's incredibly watchable. All of them are adorable. And it's that diversity of, is it going to be the white kid or the other white kid?
Right.
Or the other white kid? They're all so different from each other.
So different.
Yeah.
You know, they live in the same town, but they're so different.
They live in the same town.
They all go to public school.
They all go to the same school together. They've probably known each other since elementary school. But one of them is smarter and worse at shop.
Right.
And by the way, the shop kid never gets mad if somebody makes fun of shop. You know what I mean? Right. He fucking knows he's a shop major.
Yeah.
He owns it.
Yeah. So he goes, why did you think it would be easy? Because of you fucking guys.
Yeah.
All the
That's how
idiots
dumb
are
you
here.
are, which you clearly know you are. You tape someone's buns together. You think you're a fucking brainiac?
Jason in Millersville, PA, which had a teacher's college.
What's up,
at one
Bennington?
time. Hey, what's up, Jason?
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Some Kind of Wonderful maybe was at the end of that whole deal. And it was Pretty in Pink flipped, right?
Exactly. It was like, they're like, imagine a Earth 2 of Pretty in Pink.
Now, Eric Stoltz, it was probably his last teen movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who played the little drummer? What's her name?
Mary Stuart Masterson.
First of all, the fact that we aren't supposed to notice that she's not so fucking incredibly hot.
Just like
so hot.
Going under the radar. Mary Stuart Masterson.
We're like, what? He picked her? And then the way that it's really a mean fucking movie because he takes the girl, the cute girl, and punishes her with the best night of her life.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous,
It's really
dude.
strange.
I was shocked when I saw it. I saw it because of Movie Club. Saw it when I was an adult. Also, the emotional maturity of Leah Thompson to realize that he should be with Mary Stuart Masterson at the end.
I would have said go with him anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's a
Like,
fucking
can you-
douchebag. He's a gaslighting prick.
Can I just say something? And this is something you don't see often in a movie. Two gingers? I mean,
It's true.
normally the casting goes, somebody's going to have to dye their hair. This can't just be a ginger movie. But the fact that both Leah Thompson and Eric Stoltz are
Now-
gingers in it, you don't see that.
Here's the weird thing. They both also starred in Back to the Future, and then he got fired.
Oh, what
They
was he fired?
shot fucking 3-4 weeks
Oh
with
my
him.
God.
And they went look at it, and they're like, he doesn't understand this movie. He's playing it too heavy. It's not heavy. This isn't a drama.
Oh my God.
And Michael J. Fox, they called in. But you go to TikTok, you can see all kinds of scenes
Now I have to see
shot
this.
with Eric
I'm
Stoltz.
fascinated. I did not know this.
Chris, were you aware of this?
I had zero idea, and I'm blown away.
Really? I thought this, but maybe I get a little too obsessive with these type of things. But I mean, it cost a ton of money for them to reshoot it. But they're like, it's just
He
not
just
going
doesn't
to
get
work.
it. Wow.
Now, Dead Poets Society filmed down in, I believe, Delaware. Beautiful film.
So gorgeous.
All of us go, this would have been me, this would have been my school if I just would have pushed it and lived up to my potential. You know what I mean? But do you know what kind of a terrible freak you have to be for your parents to send you away to an awful school like that?
Just rich, cruel, cold people who want to be away from their children.
I would have lasted a day and a half in that school. When Vecchione tried to tell me that Whiplash was a great movie, and I'm like, I just wanted to stab that motherfucker with those drumsticks.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does he think he is? I just saw a thing the other day. It's in the news where a teacher got busted for punching the kid on the football field. Used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
Used to constantly fucking happen. And now they're like, yeah, but what did the kid do? It doesn't fucking matter. You're playing a fucking game, you idiots. I can see the kids getting fired up, but when the coaches do, ugh,
Yeah,
yuck.
it's gross.
Scott in Ottawa.
Hey, my North American buddies. How are you?
North American scum. That's us, Scott.
Yeah, we are scum. A lot of people think we're from England, but we're not.
We're not. No.
Oh.
No, we're not.
Hey, listen. This is one of my favorite movies, man. She gave me a pen. I gave her my heart. She gave me a pen.
There's so many good scenes in Say Anything.
Yeah.
So many
Like
good
Dental
scenes.
blaster over my head.
Yeah.
Blasting out Peter Gabriel in the rain. It's a great movie. I love this movie.
It did set up a lot of guys to stalk. That, yeah, you're definitely in the running here because the weirdness of that scene, that we let it go as if it's a positive.
Right.
When the guy is in her fucking yard at 6:30 in the morning.
And like, think now as a perspective of a parent, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'd come out of there like a nut.
Yeah. I would be like, you need to leave. Like, also what he says to her dad is just like, that his only dream is being with his daughter. It's like, that's a terrible answer,
You're
dude.
in high school, man. You're fucking a senior in high school.
You guys are going to be over each other in like 6 months' time. You're taking this way too serious.
You're going to end up playing every song about Joe and how bad of a person Joe is. I would have rather have followed her in that movie.
Oh my God, I love her so much. Lily Taylor is so good.
Let's stay with Canada. Rick.
Rick.
Hey, gang.
Yeah.
Only because I look like Corey Feldman, and I like the soundtrack. Dream a Little Dream.
It's
one of my favorites.
Very bizarre fucking movie.
I loved that movie as a kid. I loved Corey in it.
Well, Corey has stayed as that Michael Jackson impersonator, and he doesn't make movies anymore. He just takes that. It looks like somewhat of an expensive show.
Yeah.
To tiny venue after tiny venue.
Dream a Little Dream is the one where like they're in the auditorium and the lights go and then he like runs and like performs her on the I was like I love you, Corey.
Yeah, you were
I
crazy. You like both Corys a lot.
I really enjoy both Corys.
Yeah. Some people pick a Corey. You did not as a child.
No, I said I love both.
Wow.
I don't know why would I have to pick.
Beautiful.
Earl, what would you pick as your favorite school movie?
I would go with Cooley High.
Okay, how old are you?
But
Are you 100?
Are you?
100, but it's a great coming of age movie. It's a fantastic movie.
Coming of your age, you're saying, because you're...
Killer soundtrack, all Motown tunes, and one of the few major motion pictures directed by a black director at that time.
Okay.
Mr. Michael Schultz.
All right, nobody asked, but
Eric
okay,
Stoltz?
That's good. It's Eric Stoltz. They started with Eric Stoltz.
or I
pulled
call him
it was-
Erotic Stoltz.
Then it was Michael Stoltz. All right, Earl. Tim in Texas.
Hey, I'm going to have to go with Class with Rob Lowe and Andrew McCarthy. Had John Cusack in it. Ferris Bueller's Friend and Ferris Bueller's Day Off was in it.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's,
Awesome movie.
Yeah. John Cusack, before they starred him, he had tiny fucking parts in almost every goddamn movie there was in the 80s. And then for some reason, they moved it like, just use him. Let's just stop using the other kids. But Class is like, it seemed miscast because Rob Lowe didn't get the woman. Like, I think it would have made more sense if it was Rob Lowe's mom
Right.
that went off with him. And it seems like Rob Lowe should have been the one.
Sure. Rob Lowe's always going to get the woman.
Yeah, in this case, he didn't. In case he didn't at all. Let's go to Dave. Dave, California.
Hey, Dave.
Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie B.
Yeah.
Dale.
Hey.
Yeah, Chris probably played the character in Can't Buy Me Love. He probably did half the shit that kid did.
Can't Buy Me Love. I don't know whether you guys remember that one, but one of those movies that decided to take a famous song as the title. It's weird how many times that happens.
And they're like, people are going to associate it. They're just going to go, I like that song, so I guess I'll go see that movie.
And yet,
It's just
it's
familiar.
never really of that time of the song. Like Stand By Me, you're like, it's fucking, what are you doing putting that as the title?
Right.
Well, we bought the song with a lot of money. Let's put it up there in the title.
Got to use it now.
So
Yeah.
weird. Has nothing to do with
Nothing
the
to do
original
with it.
novella.
At all. Joey in Orlando. Joey.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
thanks for letting me on. Probably not the best, but it always makes me laugh. Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield, got two love stories. Johnny from Karate Kid gets it again. So anyway,
That isn't Johnny from Karate Kid. It is.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
They so many LA kids look like that that for some reason I don't associate. Now Rodney Dangerfield did all of his own stunts in the diving scenes. That's him
Wow.
in every
No
shot.
idea.
Going from doing the triple Indy, he goes from one board to the other, which by the way would have gotten you a disqualification.
You can't just make shit up.
And also when he yells "fuck you" at Kurt Vonnegut is one of my favorite things. I like that he makes this giant sandwich.
And he said it's not a good, but I enjoy it. But that's most high school movies. Like most of them, I would put in the category of not being great, but being so entertaining.
Some are like you like, but you know they're not good. And other ones you don't like and you know they're not good, like Cooley High.
Yeah.
It's before my time, so I can't even judge it.
Before everyone's time.
So old.
Why was that your answer?
Did Freddie Boom Boom Washington star in that?
Yes, he played Cochise, the high school star.
Why didn't he get to do more stuff? Was that the only movie he's ever in?
Yeah, it was the only.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, he basically got eclipsed by Travolta because he was in.
Well, yeah,
Walter
but they
Metcalf.
wouldn't have been up for the same parts. You know what I mean? Like, he should have got more work. Patty, please come to Boston.
Hey, Benningtons, I
Hey.
love you guys.
Thanks.
Peggy Sue got married.
Oh, I do love that movie.
It's also
such a weird one. Such a weird concept, but I love it.
But it's also heartbreaking when with her with her grandparents.
Oh my God, when she sees her grandmother and she's just holding on to her. Oh my God, I love that movie. It's so good.
And then that was the beginning of the end of him using like the weird voice, and everyone's like, "What kind of choices does this guy make?"
He makes some really weird choices.
Then we're going to spend the rest of our life saying this. Hey, back from Mexico City, Dr. X. Dr. X, what's up, buddy?
Here.
Yeah.
Pick one of these: Up the Academy, The Last American Virgin, or Private Lessons, the hottest movie of all time. Pedophile, but hot.
Yeah. See, this is the thing that it was always about the girl's tits being exposed.
Yes.
Against her will and really just basic physics.
The amount of breasts that we have all seen.
Yeah.
That were supposed to be, whether or not that, I'm sure the actress is older, right?
Always.
But they're supposed to be, oftentimes 15, 16, 17-year-old girls, is fucking weird how much it happens.
But it isn't even in like romantic scenes. They basically get sharked at different places.
Yes.
You know, either it's an accident that tears their clothes off or walking in like Porky's was people peeking in the girls' showers?
Yes, a lot of peeking in. I mean, even think about, here's one that's like a fairly tame movie, but in Greece, Patty Simcox gets her dress pulled up and you see her panties.
Yes.
Underneath, it's like, was that necessary? It's not even a sexual high school movie.
No.
Like, why did we have to see her underwear? That's so weird.
To humiliate her.
And she's crying. Like, she's crying while they do this to her. And who does it to her? The guys we've been hanging out with the whole movie.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
They're our friends.
Like, that's terrible.
American Pie set up a fucking streaming webcam for that girl.
Yeah. And then when she finds out, she's like, it's okay.
It's
No,
okay.
that's
She's
not
foreign.
okay. That's not okay. Yeah, 4 chicks are okay when you secretly record them.
She got fappened.
She did.
She was one of the early fappenings.
Yeah.
Kevin, Arizona.
Hey, Bennington, how's it going? I got a high school movie for you. Bring It On.
Oh, man, that's a good one. I love Bring It On so much. And Bring It On...
Everything you're not.
It's such a, like, it's one of those movies that should be, like, cheesy and, like, not work. And yet it's fully goddamn entertaining. And Kristen Dunst is so good in it. I mean, it's just a really, like, fun movie to watch. And I remember watching... Okay, Bring It On and Mean Girls were movies that me and my college roommates would watch all the time. Like, we'd just hang out and watch those movies. And at some point I went like, hey, I feel like now that we're in college, we should probably stop watching high school movies. That's kind of weird.
You should watch PCU.
We did. That was first week of school. We were like, this is based on Purchase, right?
It's about Purchase.
Did they have the Panther? Earl,
Purchase?
It's hot as balls in here.
It never is hot in here, and it
air.
is warm.
Bring it on.
You know that it is normally freezing in this room.
Put it on.
And we're sweating.
Put it on cool.
Even me. It's hot in here.
High.
Listen to him, Earl. Listen to Ron.
This is a bad day for Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Piece of shit, Earl.
Pete, North Carolina.
Pete.
Ronnie, how are you guys doing?
We're good.
You got to go early Tom Cruise and go Taps.
Timothy Hutton, Tom Cruise, Sean Penn, a little
cast.
military school that decided to become the military. And Tom Cruise probably, he played a psychopath in the movie. It's probably the closest to his actual fucking personality.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever really seen Taps. I've seen clips of Taps, but I don't think I've seen it.
The central idea would be disgusting to you because you're getting these high school children ready for war. You know what I mean? They're not even in the war. And then they just idolize this old general or whatever the fuck he is, or old colonel.
So this is a military high school.
Military high school that they're going to shut down, and then the kids basically turn it into Waco. You know what I mean? They're going to Waco this shit. Tom, Connecticut.
Bennington, $1 million. Hey, real quick. So Earth's having a horrible day because the pad data has the number wrong.
Okay, Earl, let's get it right.
Earl, get it together.
844 Rock God, 844-762-5463. All right, go ahead, Tom.
I'm saying Red Dawn, the original one, Patrick Swayze.
Good move to say the original one. The second one, they wouldn't even say what country invaded.
No.
Red Dawn also had a list of characters that went on to do other movies. Charlie Sheen was in it. Swayze, but and the thing about it was, it is, if you're a little bit younger than that, it is the fantasy of young boys, not high school boys, but certainly your last days of playing Army, that you would get drafted like it was World War I with all the kids in your neighborhood. You know, we could all be fucking serving together forever.
This way, a whole town can die.
I understood later that there were the young girls on the show did not enjoy it as much.
So Leah Thompson was in it.
Leah
She's another
Thompson,
Leah
yeah.
Thompson joint.
Jennifer
Grey.
Yeah, they were treated less than. That's why when Jennifer Grey went on to do Dirty Dancing, she already fucking hated him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
She fucking despised him.
I never would have known.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you don't even know who's been in all these things now. You know what I mean? I'm telling you about Eric Stoltz. I'm doing this and that.
Yeah, you're teaching us so much. This is a high school class when you think about it.
It's a high school musical. John in Jersey. John.
Hey, Bennington, how's it going?
Hey.
I got 3 o'clock high, Casey Shamasco.
3 o'clock high.
3 o'clock high was based on High Noon, and it was a boy was going to have to fight the tough kid at 3 o'clock, and everything that he was going through that day to see if other people would be helping him, see if he could get out of fucking school and get away with it. He could not. There's a bunch of pictures from it. But the big kid there went on to be half of a star for a while.
Why do I know him? What else has he been in? Who is the leather jacket wearing long-haired bully?
So you have to go to the cast and what they've done, Earl. You can't just sit there.
And then
you got to get off of pictures and on to all. That's him, Richard Tyson, Buddy Revell in this movie. But he was almost like. Toon Moon Junction, he was like a fake Jim Morrison.
Okay, yeah.
Kindergarten Cop, he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
So there was a very short period where he was a guy that they would use.
Right.
They just couldn't figure him out at all. George in Texas. George.
Napoleon Dynamite.
You know what? The thing about it is, I would like to rewatch this movie because it was so hyped that it was irritating at the time.
Out of control.
It was too quoted. But there were entertaining things about that movie, and I feel like I have to rewatch it with a little distance now instead of just judging it for getting too much hype. Because sometimes that's not a movie's fault. It's not a band's fault. The hype.
I can tell you in this place, I didn't like it when I saw it. I put up with everybody quoting it all the time as if it was good.
Vote for Pedro.
They fucking stole the name of the movie from Elvis Costello.
And never say why.
No, just
no
because
reference.
they have nothing of their own.
Yes.
It's almost like making fun of special needs kids instead of anything else.
Pedro was special needs, right?
So was the fucking star who was like, my favorite thing is a liger. You're in fucking high school, man. You're not 5. You shouldn't have a favorite fake fucking animal. Yeah.
Uncle Rico is probably a little special needs too. I mean, that guy wouldn't let it go.
Uncle Rico was the best thing in the movie.
Yeah, he was good.
And I mean, he kills on White Lotus. The guy's just good.
Yeah.
He's just really fucking good.
Well, wait, that one deleted scene, which wasn't in the original, where his brother's singing a song like, I love technology. I mean, that song was pretty good.
I don't know that. I don't know that thing.
I haven't seen
now
that.
I feel like I'm lying.
You need the deleted scenes, guys.
Was Stoltz in it?
Diluted scenes is more like it. Am I right, guys? Let's go to Frank in the Bronx. He understands stuff. Hey, Frank.
I mean, high school, high school, college, it's all the same. What is it? I mean, Chris has been in high school since what? 12 years? 12 years spent in high school?
Yeah, it seems like
anyway,
12 years a senior.
I don't know if anyone said this. I thought Gail would like this. But first of all, the James Dean movie, it was about a kid that went to a high school. You know, I don't know if you knew that, but Earl went back to like 40 years ago. I don't want to go that far, but Gail, how about High School Musical? Gotta get you in the game. Gotta get you in the game. How about that?
I never watched it.
Do you want to be honest? I've never seen a High School Musical. Not any of them.
How about High School Musical too?
No, I
What's his
didn't.
name? The good-looking dude. There's like 6 stars that came. My son loved that.
Yeah, I know it was very popular, but it was.
Earl, did you see it?
Did not see it.
Yeah.
All right, Frank, we're all going to have to watch this this
Viewing
year.
party, I guess.
Now, he did bring up the James Dean Rebel Without a Cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people forget this, but James Dean was the new kid in school. And he stepped on the insignia, which started a big part of the thing. He didn't know that you were supposed to walk around it.
Right.
Right? And then he ends up in a chickie fucking fight.
That's true.
But also, that was the first movie where the fucking son was humiliated and embarrassed by how weak and soft his dad was. And his dad did nothing but love him.
Yeah.
His dad loved him, but because he couldn't stand up to the mom. The mom was like the fucking viper cunt. Of
Yeah.
this movie.
God,
And
that
you,
movie's
I
so
was
good.
I was watching it and I was like, this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He was saying to his mom, his dad, leave it. Leave the dishes broken. Can't you do something? And in that fucking movie, little Sal Mineo.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Kill me.
He's got the wrong socks on. I got the bullets. Oh, that fucking movie is so good.
So good.
Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff.
I want my $2.
That's one of your favorite.
There it
Gail.
is. Better off, Dad. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you.
What a movie, right?
It's so good. It's so ridiculous and weird. It has those. I love like it's just a high school movie where it's just like, oh, and we're not going to follow reality. Like,
Yes.
it's just bizarre for no reason.
And yet it works with the foreign student, the overweight kid,
Christmas,
who ended up doing bad things on Nickelodeon. It's just great.
Right.
Glenn, Nova Scotia.
Hey, buddies. Ronnie, 1985, my friends and I, we'd get together, we'd rent a VCR, and we'd get Vision Quest, and we'd watch that thing over and over. Young Matthew Modine, that movie was phenomenal.
Crazy
and, I
for
think,
you. Matthew Modine was so odd of a young actor. That Birdie, Full Metal Jacket, you never felt comfortable watching a Matthew Modine.
No, he is very uncomfortable. He's a very strange person, and he's still strange, I feel.
Oh, no, I did an hour with him
Stranger
before.
Things.
Yeah, he's very odd. He's very, very odd, but he's got something. You know, I wish I could bottle it, Chris. You know what I mean?
We have to get his essence and start selling that shit. Ron, you're correct. You're correct.
Okay.
Why would you go so deep in with him, you know?
Over the top.
You go, I don't know, Ron. I guess he's okay.
No, Yeah.
Instead,
no, well, you could have added to
bottle
it.
his energy.
You could have added it.
Bottled Modine?
This is the kind of guy Trump was fucking surrounded by when he kept saying that the election was stolen.
Yes.
Those people are to blame too, you know.
God damn
You're going to find yourself indicted.
PK.
Again?
Hey, what's happening? I was going to say Rock and Roll High School, but Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion is a much better movie.
I'm going to say just the opposite. I would have given you the prize now.
Oh, my
on
God.
Rock and Roll High School because it's the Ramones.
I love it.
Who they didn't ask to do the movie first. Do you know who they asked?
No.
Van Halen.
What?
Why
Yeah.
do you have so many high school fun facts?
Jesus, Ron.
I thought we all were fans of movies.
I am.
But
I know
what's her
that I
name?
am.
Yes.
PJ Rourke. I fucking loved her.
She's such an adorable little thing.
Yeah.
She's so cute. Rock and Roll High School.
Wouldn't that fucking have been great with Van Halen?
So weird.
It'd have been believable because nobody was following the Ramones.
No.
You know? The Ramones had sold like 50 fucking albums. But I guess there was no reason for Van Halen to do it, you know?
Right,
but this was literally one of the last, you're just going to drive-ins, nowhere else. We're not going to put you in a movie theater. It's our friend Lou. Hey, Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, hi guys. How's everybody?
Cool.
Doing good.
Good. I was thinking about Mean Girls.
I do love Mean Girls.
It's good.
It still
I like
stands
Tim
up.
Meadows.
And it's one of those movies, like, I enjoyed it at the time, but I was surprised the way it's never gone away. Like, it's still...
Yeah.
There's still, like, Mean Girls Day.
Yeah.
People still dress like them for Halloween.
And Gail, now you're the cool mom.
Yeah.
And that's important.
One of the cool moms.
Lou,
I know.
Lou, you were, I went, as soon as we were ending yesterday, I look up and saw you on hold for who would have been a great founding father these days if we were to reboot it.
Yeah, the one and only Colin Quinn.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Things would be a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
A lot different.
Colin is one of the first people I heard say China's doing it a lot better than us.
Oh, really?
And he goes, yeah, the reason why is they don't listen to the people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like listening to the people slows everything down. And I'm like, that's fucking brilliant. You know?
People are not the brightest.
Well, like think about during the pandemic, China locked down first, and they went okay. They just went okay, and we're still fighting about it here. Should we have locked down? We shouldn't have locked down. It ruined everything. They should have locked down sooner. They should have locked down longer. We're still fighting about it, and they were just like, "Hey, yeah, I don't want to get shot, so I'm just going to go ahead and stay in my house.
It's better for the greater good."
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That's
your
why
service.
I'm trying to unite us with a one-party system.
Yeah.
Please. All right, thanks, Lou. Mean Girls is a real good one.
It is good.
I love Lou.
Mm-hmm.
Peter in Virginia.
I have the winner here, but love chopping it up with you guys.
Love
chopping it with you.
Hey, Heather's is probably the most brilliant.
Now, here's the
high
thing.
school
Now,
movie.
if there's anything I don't like about Mean Girls, it's that it's Heather's light.
Yeah.
Because Heather's is the ultimate. Like, it's like they took the idea of Heather's and went, but let's not make it that edgy, you know? I fucking love Heather's.
Yeah,
Love.
when she was younger, she would watch this over and over and over.
Obsessed. And again, this is the exact thing, is when you're the age that you're not currently in high school, but you're younger than the teenagers in the movie, and you're like, this is amazing. They're so cool.
Well, certainly Winona was cool.
Yes.
And have you seen the new documentary on Netflix that is Johnny Depp,
No,
Amber Heard?
I haven't.
So there's a thing, and this is all done in real time, right? Where she's on stage, and she said that she asked him what a tattoo was. What is your tattoo? It's old and it's fading. And he said, it used to say Winona forever, but when we broke up, I changed it to Wino forever. And she laughed. Crack! He fucking smacks her.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of
He's
here.
still in love with Winona.
And by the way, we all laugh at that. We've been joking about Wino forever this whole time.
He wishes he could hit all of us.
Yeah. Try it with me, pal. But here's the thing about Heather's that I will say. Yes, Winona, like, peak Winona, like so good in that movie.
But
then Christian Slater, what?
No, I said but.
Christian Slater is the most like, I get where she's coming from, right? Like, in the end, he's horrible, right? He's a murderer. And you're like, but I think I can fix him because he was just so attractive and alluring.
Do you think that got him true romance?
Yes, 100%. You would see that vibe and see how he could play Clarence for sure.
Interesting.
And but like even the other girls, like Shannon Doherty is hilarious. The main Heather, I can't think of her name. The blonde one is unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, that's an unbelievable performance.
Yeah, it's never gone away either. It's the cult classic. John, Pittsburgh.
The Outsiders.
All right.
This is another great one.
Hold on. Is there a school scene in The Outsiders? Because I can't think of one.
They're never in school.
Never in school.
They are school kids.
Yes.
But is it summer?
It's either summer or they've all dropped out.
Right.
Well, the Socias haven't dropped out.
No, the Socias are doing their
But
thing.
I don't think there's a school scene.
But you go from like movie theater to the drive-in to the park to On the Lam.
Yeah.
Like you're never seeing them in school.
No, never once. Do we have to do any reads today? Because we have a guest coming in.
One read.
Okay, thank you. Ryan in New Jersey.
Hey, Ron. How's it going?
Good.
Toy soldiers. Die Hard in a boarding school.
And it really is that thing where they ended up, so it's all the kids in a military school.
Rudy, right?
And then people take over the military school. And then the guy on the outside, they're the only ones that can stop this. These youngsters have got to risk their lives.
Right. But why did they take over a military school?
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember. I think, was it like a president's son was there or something?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that.
Will Wheaton is in it and Rudy.
Sean
Astin. Didn't think of his name.
That's it.
Jim, Chicago.
Hey, Benningtons. I love you guys.
Thanks.
I don't know if this one's been cut up yet, but it's called Class of 1984. It was a B movie set in like the inner city of Chicago where the gangs ran the school.
It's
Roddy
really,
McDowell played the old grizzled teacher. Perry King was the new ideal teacher, and Michael J. Fox was one of the kids that was tormented into suiciding himself.
It is one of those things where, okay, this is kind of, we're going to get rough with it, but use all these Hollywood kids.
Right.
You know, it has the same feeling of the Warriors.
Right. I've never seen this one.
Who are the people in it, Earl? I can't read, and you're keeping it small. So you just went past, go ahead. Perry King, who had to be way too old. Timothy Van Patten. Michael J. Fox was just Michael Fox in those days.
We didn't throw the J in?
Didn't need it then. Found out there was another Michael Fox. All right, give me the live read, Earl. We're going to break here. Come back. We've got a guest stopping in. I don't think he's signed in yet, though. Has he? He has signed in.
The people you meet outdoors come in all shapes and sizes. You've got hikers and bikers, thrill seekers and tailgaters, pop-up campers, and Class A glampers. No matter what draws you outside, we've all got something in common, a love for the great outdoors.
And a love for great TV. Dish Outdoors offers portable satellite antennas that go wherever you do. Catch up on live news, sports, and weather, all in HD. Plus, only Dish Outdoors has pay-as-you-go programming with no contracts or credit checks required.
Just activate before you hit the road and only pay for the months you need. The Dish Outdoors antennas are quick and easy to set up with fully automated signal finders and work without Wi-Fi or cell data.
They're so lightweight and compact, you can take them anywhere. Visit dishoutdoors.com to learn more and get free shipping. Restrictions apply. All right, Jared Freed is coming in next. He's got a brand new Netflix special.
37 and Single. It's available now on Netflix.
You can follow him on Instagram at Jared Freed or on TikTok at Wizard of Hile. So, Chris Stanley, you have heard all the people You are in the power seat today as number one producer.
Yes, because you're the good boy.
You're the good boy from yesterday, and as I told you yesterday, Earl, if you lost, we'd have to be mean to you today.
Just
so
for a change.
I wanted to point out you've had on the same clothes for 23 years, and it's embarrassing. Plus, you have a microphone pin when you don't talk on the show.
Oh, and you're bad at Googling. I'll throw
You're bad
that
at Googling?
You're real bad at Googling.
Yeah. And you've never hit for extra bases in your life.
And you haven't nutted in like fucking 57
Oh,
years.
man.
Chris, you know, you take bullying too far.
Yeah, you take
You know,
bullying
we're
too
keeping
far.
it fun.
You know what? Somebody said that to a kid in my school, and he killed himself.
Is that what you want?
No.
No. 2 other kids killed him.
Oh, okay. That's horrible.
I got confused. Yeah, but I don't want 2 other kids to kill Earl.
No, once they find out he hasn't.
Chris Stanley, it's the best high school movie of all time.
Yes.
You got to nail this one, brother.
You got to kill it.
You've got to fucking nail it.
Or else you'll be bullied tomorrow.
All I want are good boy points and no bullying. So the winner, I have the winner locked in. The winner of Hollywood Nights, signed by Tony Danza and Robert Wall. Everyone knows I'm a romantic at heart. It's Scott in Ottawa with Say Anything. You have won Hollywood Nights.
Wow.
Good job, Scott.
I would have picked all the other callers.
Yeah, me too.
They were. I love them better.
Fast Times, Dazed and Confused, Ferris Bueller, Heathers.
What do you think about this? Say Anything.
Source is lame, bro.
Yeah. You know what's funny about this, though?
Earl's lame.
Not a single black person in that movie.
That's probably why Chris picked
Not a one.
No.
Gail.
When I pick, it's perfect diversity.
Yeah.
And women get a starring part.
Yes.
Not just there is arm candy. Condi.
Oh, sweet Condi.
And I don't like that because the old guy went to jail for fucking nothing. For having what, a nice jukebox? Fuck you, man. The guy liked his old time rock and roll.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm incarcerated, Lloyd. And then he went on do very well on Frasier.
Yes, he got to sit on that nice chair with his dog.
Yeah, he was oddly injured, but not really.
Yeah, he had just a slight limp, I guess.
Yeah, at best.
Was it from the war?
No, he was a cop.
Oh, okay.
I think he was shot in the kneekap.
He was a crooked cop.
By another cop, yeah. Another cop got him because he was stealing jukeboxes.
Oh my God, this is a running theme for him.
And he had 2 gay sons that didn't know they were gay. Hey, Jared Freed coming up next. 37 and single, available on Netflix. Bennington.
Us comics, you know?
Right.
And, you know, I don't think people realize how many years you put in something like this, how many gigs that you've done, how many promotions you've been part of. And it's so fucking cool to see it come through.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's like, you know, it becomes very reflective. It becomes like a birthday.
Right.
You know, you start thinking back, and like people reach out that you didn't expect to reach out. You go, oh my God, we did a show together way back when. People write nice things on Twitter where they go, I opened for Jared. You know, like it is nice when, especially comedians. Like, you know, listen, we go down the road of negativity so much, but so many comics have been so amazing as far as like, you know, just feeling like a little bit, you know, we all feel a part of it when you know someone and they're around. And, you know, I remember like you go to the cellar and you see someone work on their Tonight Show set and you're like, oh, I'm excited to watch this happen in front of me, you know?
I agree. And there are people I'm like, oh, they shouldn't do this. And by the end of the week, they've got it. You know, but at the beginning of the week, you're like, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that the pressure because of the tightness too with that is
exactly.
It's like every word you have to think about.
Yeah,
like is that worth spending that 1 second saying that thing?
It's like sticking the landing, you know.
Yes.
Like it's a again, it becomes a routine, especially when you're taping anything. You know, like when you go to a club, that was the big concern is you get done. You know, it's in ink. You know, there's no change. You know, we like to listen to the bit and go, I can say it this way this time. Oh, and I'll say it that way. And then you get it. There's no changing it. That's it.
That's it.
It's out there. And so, but it's been fun.
But, you know, I was thinking as watching it, I don't think too many guys work to as many females as you do.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You're like the Maroon 5.
I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take
nice
it.
place to be.
Well, I
I
always
love
wondered why people wanted to be in a band and play the guys. That
like metal bands?
Yeah.
Where, like they just
the
a sea
Beatles
of
played the
dudes?
girls. And then their boyfriends come. But if you see the audience here, it's a sea of women. And then right on the aisle, there'll be a guy. And I'm like, I always need an aisle seat too. I don't know why that is. I wish I could get beyond that in my life.
Is it leg room? Is it needing the ability to leave whenever you
That's
want?
the thing. But I will go, oh, can I want to take this show? And they go, nothing on the aisle. Then I go, then I won't be coming.
Right.
I wish I could get around with that.
Because it isn't comfortable to be shoulder to shoulder sometimes with people.
I
And
don't-
stuck in the middle.
Yeah,
It's the stuck in the middle more than anything.
Yeah, it's not being able to go whenever, and also do that. Like I think there's an age where you want to be that you want to wander a little bit.
Yes,
you know, want to be able to have the option of
Right.
I won't go to the bathroom, but I'll kind of see where it is.
I lie and say I'm having a smoke, but I just want to get up.
Yeah.
And
Also,
get out.
Nobody likes the thing of like, then you're in the aisle and you have to get up and you're like, do I move my butt first? Am I facing them?
Which way do I go to get out of this aisle, out of this row?
Neither option are good.
I hate when you're on a plane and someone doesn't get up. They're like, you go, hey, I'm going to get up. And they like take their knees and move them half an inch. And you're like, I don't want to, fuck you.
I was
It's an intimate thing.
Yeah.
I was in a thing literally in first class, and we had like a thing where you put your legs up, and the guy didn't move. I stepped over his legs.
Yeah.
Both ways.
It's like this is an American Gladiators obstacle course
And
at
I'm
this
like,
point.
And I'm like this. It's a 5.5 hour flight. I'm gonna piss.
Yeah.
Over 5.5 hours, I'm gonna piss.
It's gonna need to happen.
You got to make a move.
But you talk at 37 and dating, to some people, they're like, "What's wrong, dude?
Right.
What is wrong with you?"
I don't know. I wish I knew. I think to me it's like over the years you're developing your taste, and I think that's what the special's all about. Is like you get to 37 and single, and like you're happy with your life. You're not looking to like go down from where you are. You're not looking to like make your life worse. You're looking for someone to kind of fit with you, and then. When you get out there on especially the dating apps, you're seeing a menu. You're seeing, we're the Google generation. We look up the restaurant before we go.
Right.
So you're seeing their menu and you become a little negative because you go, I'm not dating someone who, doesn't do shared apps. I'm not dating, you see these little things that I know who I am. I know what I like. I'm not dating an Android phone. I'm just not,
And then here's the other thing. I think the older you get, the more red flags you start to see in other people,
Right.
and the more like you're sure. When you're in your early 20s and you're dating someone, you're like, okay, whatever. That's
there's
who
no
they are.
cynicism. You that's the thing, but that's like the beauty of becoming older is who you want to be at a group dinner with.
Yeah.
You've learned your lesson. In your 20s, that one person's like, I'm going to pay cash. And you're like, okay, never going to see this person again.
Right.
I'm out on cash person. Throw the card in the middle or we don't speak ever again.
See, here's the thing, though. And I always think of Seinfeld. When the show, Seinfeld ended, he just went, now I'll get married. You know what I mean?
Right.
He married somebody. He had his kids. From what I hear, he's miserable, but he's doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's committed to it. Before then, he basically couldn't think of himself with anybody.
Well, that's the thing I always talk about, like when we talk about dating stuff.
Yeah.
Like all my friends were like guys, like they were all like me. We like to bust balls, eat, get drunk, and make fun of each other. And they were all dating and going out, and they were the guys that a lot of the people that write to me, the women especially, were dealing with.
Yeah.
So I was like, and they all settled down. They all found their way to suburbia, to the house and two kids and being a good husband, I think, from my angle. So it's like I'm not, when I talk about dating stuff, I always, and especially on the special, like I'm not 100% away from the guy you're seeing. That's why so many women come to see it. They go, I'm speaking in a way about dating that is relatable, but also from a guy's perspective. And it's like, I'm not 100% away from whoever you're dealing with, but I am within 10%. I'm a standard deviation away. I talk about breakups in it. And when I break up, it's before the next step. That's probably a lot of guys, you know?
Right.
Not seeing the future together and going, you know what, I'm going to opt out. I'll opt for, being in something that's new and easier, as opposed to this next step that's going to be work and figuring out.
The early part is great, right? The early part is exciting.
Honeymoon phase.
It's really nice.
And as far as breaking up, most guys don't want to face that as an adult and say, look, I'm not, but you'd rather act awful for a while or cold or not coming home.
Right.
That's why, that's why they, you hear a lot of women, I'm so confused. It's like, no, you're not confused. You're turned off.
You know exactly what's fucking happening.
Right.
You know what's happening. No one wants to face it.
You just brought up Seinfeld. How old, because all 4 of them are dating throughout the whole series.
Yes.
They're all 4 dating. What is their age range, you think, for most of the show?
That's one of those things.
I think they're in their
Cheers
30s.
thing?
Yeah.
You ever see the Cheers thing where they show how old they were in Cheers?
Yeah.
And you realize, like, I'm older than the Cheers people?
That's really weird.
It's really
right?
fucking
That's
weird.
Really
Seinfeld, I don't know if they've done that meme, but they did it for Cheers, and you're like, my God.
Even on Cheers, Coach wasn't that old.
Right.
Coach was like 51, but he didn't know where he was.
Right.
He's like Biden now. He's like Biden is Coach.
Right. You're right. That show was just like, they're just like haggard, but they're like 32.
Norm is 32. You're like, Norm is 32? This guy, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Who just seems like a full-on middle-aged dad.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, everything
32.
about him is like,
in my mind,
surrendered.
Yeah, in my mind, Norm's life was over.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I watched that show.
He had nothing but his alcoholism.
Seinfeld is so weird because they were like ageless in my mind.
Yeah.
Like they were adults to me as a child, but now I'm like of their age, but to me they're still like adults. And they're
I'm
older.
with you.
Seinfeld was a little older than the other 2, and then Kramer was probably the oldest.
Right. Kramer was probably the oldest, which was fine because it was like he was a weird bachelor, right? Like he was always in a weird.
Kramer being, if he's 35 on that show, I'm still like, I don't know. I'm with you. I think it's ageless. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
He's just like beyond understanding, I think.
And then people would, even when Jerry did that show, they're like, can you find someone? You know what I mean? And then Jerry, while the show was a giant hit, dated a high school girl.
Like a child.
That's what they say, right?
No, it was on the cover of People magazine where everybody's like, look at the Jerry and whatever her name was.
Yeah.
But she was in high school, giant tits. And then I was like, well, what's he going to do?
Yeah, well, look at how mature she looks.
Ron took away 2 things from that People magazine cover.
Yeah. So there they are, and
that's the picture where she's wearing the high-waisted jeans in black and white.
Wasn't she also engaged at the time too, though?
No, that's the one he married.
That's the one he married.
Okay, he married somebody who was just married like 2 weeks before.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the one I remember because I remember the cleavage in this and the high-waisted jeans.
America was not outraged.
No. He was pushing 40. He's 39 years old, and she's 17 in this picture.
All right, what year?
The thing you wonder, you go, how did they meet? Like,
Central Park.
Right.
Central Park,
like we all
just out in the park.
Yeah.
Did he know her dad?
That's the one thing you go, I don't even know, how that would even happen.
I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
I wonder that with someone with who's 23 and someone who's 33. Even that scenario, you go, what's the conversation? I mean, that's a big part of the special is that when you're 37 and going out, the people out are in their 20s. The people that are your friends and their friends of friends, they're all doing 37-year-old shit, So that's like the hard part is like you have so many people like, how do you meet someone? Then they go to the apps because if you're not on the apps, you're not trying.
Right.
You're just considered like, oh, well, you can't complain. You have this tool out there that you're not using.
I first started dating my husband, I was 25 and he was 35, which for some reason, at that time, felt scandalously age difference. Like the older you get, it's like the gap gets somehow we've been together a really long time. Now we're just the same age somehow.
Right.
Like I don't know how that happens,
well,
but it felt like a big deal.
Did you have an issue? Did you look at that and go?
I would never tell my kids what to do like that. What am I going to do?
Right.
But then the biggest adjustment was that like his friends were adults and my friends were still kids, you know, even though he and I were the same. It's just like when I was around his friends, I felt like it was like suddenly like, oh, I go to dinner parties. Like they go to places with expensive cocktails and not just like dollar PBR.
Did you have male friends at that time? Because I think a 25-year-old woman is more ready than a 25-year-old man.
And
like,
that was,
you know,
that was
lose
the
those
issue.
male friends.
Yeah, that was when the gap was very difficult, whereas like people who were my own age, men who were my own age, not people my own age, felt very different.
Yeah, the women your age, they're like, we want the dinner party.
Right, exactly. Like, they're ready.
That's why The Bachelor works. You know, the show The Bachelor works. You go, 23, 24-year-old women, like, this is a little unbelievable, but yeah, I could see how they would want that life, you know, of marriage. And then The Bachelorette, you see a bunch of 25-year-old dudes, you're like, these are toddlers.
But
you know?
here's the thing. We're only like 2 generations away from the 25-year-old woman being called a spinster. You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with her? I guess she's a lesbian. I guess she's a barren lesbian.
Yes, like, you know, it's very... Pride and Prejudice when she's like, I'm 27 years old, I have no prospects, I'm a burden to my family, and I'm frightened.
Yeah.
You're like 27.
You still kind of see that just from, I see it from women where they say, you know, like when you're in college, like you'd be a senior and the you know, your friends, all your female friends are like, oh, we're the grandmas. And you're like, no, you're 22. Okay.
Right.
And then I just think like men are 27 forever.
Yeah.
You know, like you just always consider yourself like my dad, like if I was like, yeah, you're like an old man, he'd be like, whoa,
oh, yeah, right.
I'm 65 years young.
Right.
Like, no, you're old.
Yeah.
It's over.
Then he's going to elbow you when you're shooting hoops.
Right.
For no reason.
Just for showing up.
Yeah.
But the first time I saw you doing a podcast, it was down at the Underground, and I was, you know, doing one of the other club, and I go, what are all these young women coming? Is Amy here, I guess, you know? And I went downstairs and they're doing their podcast, and these young ladies were all but jotting stuff down with the dating advice. Wow. And I'm like, they feel such pressure, even though they're in New York and they're young and it's Sex in the City time.
I know.
You could see the pressure in their faces.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, when I started talking about dating over like podcasts, I was like, this is fun. Like, I kind of was like, I'm joking around about dating stuff. It's going on in my life. Why wouldn't I joke around about it? And then when women started listening to the podcast, you start to realize like, oh, this is like very serious to some people. You know, they're killing it in everything else. They're killing their job. They're killing it in their career.
Right.
They got great family, great friends, and they're going, this one thing, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, why am I? And then from my perspective, when I was talking about it, you know, over the years, you get better at talking about the subject because you're like, I'm just like trying to say sometimes, you know, from the guy perspective, it's an icky reality that you're trying to make edible and make less personal because a lot of it feels personal. I know that. And, you know, when you talk about breakups and you talk about why isn't this guy texting back or what's going on in this specific situation, I was kind of putting myself in the position of like, well, I can tell you what was going through my mind when.
Yeah.
Right.
Chris Stanley is on the Zoom here. He was for years he was with the same girl that he was producing the show. He took away her youth.
Come on.
And she hates him so fucking much because Chris and his immaturity kept her from being a mother.
Yes.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I need to just put some caveats to this conversation. First of all, she knew that I did not want children, and at the end of the 8-year relationship, that was the big reason that yes, I stole her youth, and she could not have children.
Because she
Okay, in her
guilty
defense,
feels.
most men, many men, I won't say most, I'm going to say many men say they don't want children until they want children.
And then you see them in an Instagram post with them and 2 3-year-olds.
Yes,
They're like,
exactly.
oh,
Yes.
I guess I
Never.
do. Oops. Well,
Yes.
I talk about it on the special. It's you know, women want reasons for the end of the relationship, and sometimes there's no good reason.
Right.
And you know, this, you know, when you're asked for a reason, you better give it. And it's like, okay, well, I'll just say I don't want kids, and that becomes a serious enough reason
Right.
to give way to why this should end. And listen, I don't doubt that Chris doesn't want kids.
I don't, Jared.
But he loves cats. He takes care of his cat.
Okay. And if you were upfront about that, then
I don't think he was.
No,
I think he was like, I definitely kind of want them, but let's wait.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let's see what the cats
On
give
my
us.
current cat's heads, I swear, she always knew I didn't want kids,
But she changed, which, by the way, that's an okay thing for a
Right.
woman to say, I don't
Not
want
to
kids. It's not for me. And then with age, develop into a person who wants kids. I mean, I think that probably shows a maturity because thank God she didn't want kids then.
Right.
You know, she's probably like a more together person.
Is there any guy who wants kids but can't find the right person? You know what I mean? I never talked to a guy who
He
said,
says next to his kid.
Yeah, I think. Believe me, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is frightening. They know that. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing where it's like I think a lot about like opting. You know, it does feel like we're just, as men, we're just like, you're opting into another life.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Talking about you at 25 with your girlfriends, you guys went out to dinner and had like, were like kind of responsible for one another, responsible for each other's feelings. Like, I've never thought of my guy friends have been like, you haven't been there for me. Like, I've been there for you. You
That's
hear that
true.
from women all the time.
Yes.
And it's like, so the idea of going from, like, I think of me being single as being retired. I am like, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'm on my own schedule.
Right.
And a lot of the women that I hear from, it sounds like when they're single, it feels like they're out of work.
Right.
You know, they're like, I gotta get my job. I gotta get to the, the next level. I gotta be,
Right.
and I don't mean that. I hope that doesn't sound mean because
No,
it's just,
it does.
It does because there's also there's also biological pressures
Sure.
that are not even obvious to women. You don't realize
You
that
just- yeah.
chemically you're being driven to do this thing.
Now, do you ever feel lonely? Like when you.
Of course.
Okay.
That's the thing. But, and then you say, why are people pushing off marriage? Why are they pushing off life? And then you go on your phone and you got a lot to do on there. You can really,
That's true.
like you can pass a lot of time by looking at your phone and distracting yourself. So, lonely stuff comes, you go, there are moments where I'm like, I'll look up and I'm like, wow, my friends have like adult children. Like you're like, how did that happen?
Yes.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I guess and then you start doing the math on your fingers. You're like, well, if I was to meet someone today, we'd have kids in 2 years or 3.
Yeah.
And then you go, I'm 85?
Yes.
You go, oh.
You're the old dad now, whether you want to be or not.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Now, Earl, you have spent your life as a solitary man.
Yes.
Did you expect that?
Absolutely not. Did not expect to be a single man at this stage of my life. Not at all.
Or any stage.
Or any stage, yeah.
When did you think to yourself, people are not even talking to me about it? They're not even asking anymore.
Probably when I hit my 30s.
Wow.
When I hit my
So
30s.
30 years ago. 30 years ago, they stopped asking.
Today's the anniversary.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I hit my 30s.
You can't imagine it now, right? You can't imagine moving in with somebody.
It just fades away now. Like the idea of it is like it's gone with the wind.
But you
Like the
know, it's like,
movie?
why did you think once you hit your 30s, like that's when you threw in the towel on that? Because that's not old, is what
No,
my
not
point
old.
is. And especially in this day and age, 30s is a perfectly reasonable time to meet someone. Most people don't get their adult life started until well into their 30s.
But why
Right.
do we consider that an adult life? Are we saying that he's not an adult? Chris is not an adult.
Well, I'm saying if you strive for that thing, if that's the thing that you
no one
want,
strives.
right?
No man
I would
strives.
go, you're less of an adult. You
Yeah.
have less to, there's less responsibility. I'm saying that as someone who's single and in their 30s, like, when I see pictures of like, oh, we're at like the school thing, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh yeah,
I am
that's a
not
nightmare.
there.
Well,
Like
sure.
that sounds like you know what I mean? Like there's things I see online that you go, whew, nothing could make me want to, be in line at the pickup at the elementary
that.
school. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So as far as like adult being, what is an adult? You go, well, responsibility, giving yourself to someone else, making yourself
In service.
in service. That's and that's a big part of the whole family thing. I remember when I was dating someone, my dad was like, I was like, I think I'm gonna like end it. My dad was like, this is your last time to be selfish. That was
Yeah.
his big thing.
We're hanging out with Jared Freed. 37 and Single is available now on Netflix.
It's It's interesting that you're putting it all out there. Everything about you is exposed. You're not saying I've got it made.
No.
You're saying this is it. This is one way to be.
This is one way to be.
Yeah.
It's a snapshot of my life, December 2022.
But you get a lot of
37 and
women
single.
coming to see the show.
Sure.
They must feel like this guy, he's successful, he's on TV, he's looking, I could be the one.
Well, I don't think 37 and single is a sad thing.
Right.
Like I don't think of that. Like I think of it as a positive thing. Like I don't really think. And the more you say it's not sad and it's positive, and the more sad it sounds.
It sounds.
But like, no, I swear I'm
If
okay.
it's a cry for help, you can say that.
I know. I go, and when the relationship between the audience and who comes to my shows and I is like more familial than anything else. Like
Right.
and.
They're
which
like
is
sisters.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does feel that way. And when a woman approaches me from the show, it's never like, "Hey, let's go back to your place." It's like, "Let's get drinks tomorrow night at 8." Like it's not. It's very much not the rock star thing.
Okay.
Like, so, which is nice. I actually appreciate that. It makes it a little bit easier, but also it shows just how lazy I can become. I'm like,
Who are your friends in comedy that you'll hang with when you have a free night?
I was just with Michelle Wolf.
Okay.
And, Nimesh Patel, Michael Che.
Terrible people.
Horrible people. Anthony DeVito,
Yeah.
Greg Stone. These are
Right.
all people that I love seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them very single, others now. Greg is just taking the offer. Anthony's taking the offer.
Yeah.
I think Che is.
He's single.
Yeah, he's going to always be single. It seems like.
It seems that
Yeah.
way. No, all the whole range, you
Yeah.
know. So, and Nimesh is married, and it's comic. The thing about comedians, is like it's an alternate universe,
Right.
Like there's no judgment. There's no. It's just like the night is the same. You have the show, you have the hang after the show. You kind of dip into this
Right.
this weird world of where time doesn't exist. Everyone's
It's
just
really,
talking bits.
It's good to sometimes be with people who are self-involved because they don't get involved in your life.
Right.
So every comedian, they care about their own shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they almost have blinders on.
That's a very good point. And I think there is something strange about that. When somebody is kind of self-interested,
Yeah.
it does take the pressure off of you being asked like a million questions or to do
Yeah.
whatever. That the person who's going to sit there and tell you about like their career, then all their health issues.
It's so much easier. It's so much less exhausting. Like, you go hang with your friend. Like I hang with my college friends and it's like, we all have things to talk about. Like we have things to ask about.
Right.
Like we're
real
putting
catch
things
up.
out there to be asked about. Like, oh, what? So, a special, oh my God, on Netflix, do they call you every day? They give you a Letterman's jacket? Like they do and you go, I don't want to talk. I'd rather talk about how much their kids suck.
Right. Exactly.
I would much rather have that type of fodder as opposed to having to do my one-man show.
Farm them for material.
Yeah.
Now, you also are free to see any sports. I know you're a sports guy.
I'm a sports guy.
You don't have to worry Sunday to do something else, Saturday to do something else, and during college, this is your time.
What do you mean? Like
you don't a lot of times if you're married, you're finding out things are scheduled.
There's
during
no
games.
There's no schedule.
Yeah.
There's freedom in that, and then there's also what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
You do find yourself with more free time than maybe you need. I'm going to start going to some, this fall. I mean, I love the fall.
Me too.
I'm ready for football to be on in the background as opposed to oh, I guess it's there's professional pickleball.
Right, yeah.
I guess
just
I'm a
something.
loser. I should have a kid.
I remember when I lived in Florida, a guy from our radio station got married during the Florida State game, right?
Well, that guy.
And everybody was in the church like this. You
Yeah.
fucking believe it? And it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Because,
I went to Penn State. If you have a Penn State wedding in the fall, what are you doing to people?
Why
are you going to do this to us?
Why does Penn State ever think they're going to win it all, though? It always confuses
It's a
me.
lot of there's a lot of bravado. There's a lot of Penn State dreams out there.
Have you seen the thing on Tebow when he played at Florida with Urban Meyer? It's on
I haven't
Netflix.
seen it yet.
It's fucking insane. Like, I tried to explain to these guys, none of them really are it because this is the Northeast.
Right,
They don't
no
understand.
one understands it.
You know, and really, it's only Penn State, maybe Boston College, kind of Syracuse, but nothing like it is down
it's
south.
Penn State and down. I actually hosted a game show on Snapchat where we went to 14 different college football games and it was a game show that we did from the parking lot of college football games, and it was the most. And the whole country, like we went to all the different areas. The most I'll never forget. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was a game show where it was called "How Low Will You Go?" And it was a reverse auction. So I'd have a person on my right, person on my left, and I'd be like, "I have $100. Whoever shaves off an eyebrow, I'll give you $100 to shave off your eyebrow." And the guy to my right would go, "I'll do it." And then I'd look at the guy on my left, and I go, "90." And he'd go, "I'll do it for 90, and then 80, 76. So we do this game show in the parking lot of Play. We went to Jacksonville for the world's largest cocktail party. Florida, Georgia. We are sitting there. We have this big setup, 3-camera shoot. I'll never forget it. And there was a guy Bennington, he's your age. He's on top of the truck, the bed of his truck. He's holding a huge Crown and Coke. And he's watching just the world go by. And I'm like... and everyone's hammered. And then I just look over at this guy. I kept like seeing him and he's watching us. And then at one point we take a break from shooting and I look over and he's doing a huge line of Coke off of his hand. And then he just turns to me and we make eye contact and he just cheers me with the Crown and Coke. Like it was nothing. And I'm like, this is college football madness. Like this guy's just giving himself a heart attack.
Well, all those, I mean, the big fucking trouble in college sports are the alumni.
Yeah.
They've never let go of the college and they have money.
You're paying for your... and as a Penn State graduate who's not that big, I would never call myself a Penn State super fan. Like here's what I enjoy about Penn State. I enjoy the balloon blowing up, which means every week they win, the party gets bigger and bigger. So you want the party to last as long as possible. So that's why these people put money in. They need their team to stay undefeated as long as possible so they can get out of the house and stay away from their family as long as possible. Because then 3 weeks in when you're undefeated, the game's on. Everyone's getting together. 5 weeks in, you got one loss on the calendar. You're like, where the hell are you going? They suck.
Right.
You're not leaving the house. So that is a lot of what college football is.
One game could ruin
one and done.
And how many fucking schools do you think every year think we have a shot? Is it 40? Is it 50 that really feel like
they're like, this is
we
it.
can do this?
I think enough. I think 40 schools think they can get to 10-0.
Right.
You know, that's what you want. You want to get to 10-0, so at least you got 10 weeks of partying and seeing your friends that you wouldn't have seen.
Yeah.
I really do believe that's like a huge part of it because you get to go back, then people go back. The longer they win, the more people that go back. Those alumni, they go, and that's what they're paying. I think that's what they're giving money to.
Right.
Is to keep
you're saying
the flame going.
If they're not having a good year,
no one goes.
No one goes.
It's a terrible year. You don't want to be there.
It's a burden.
And the money difference, I would imagine, for this school is unbelievable. Then.
Yeah, I mean, the money that comes into these schools is sick.
Penn State College becomes the third largest city in Pennsylvania every football Saturday,
and it's not close to anything.
Yeah,
I mean, wherever you're going, State College is a fucking drive.
It's 3 hours from everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a wild place. But all those schools, I went to Ole Miss. You go to Ole Miss. And
same thing,
same thing. I remember I was in the Uber and I was like, Ole Miss, they tell you they care more about the party than the game, which is not a shock. But I go, hey, I heard the Uber guy picked me up and he goes, so you're from out of town? I was like, yeah. I go, I heard they party here. He just goes, I just started laughing at me the whole time.
Yeah.
It was just, some of the places are better than others, but they're all fun. Like they all have their own thing.
You know, when you go to Austin, it's fucking college football, and you say to them, "Hey, it's been a long time since Texas mattered." You know, I remember when it did, but it's been a long fucking time, and they don't realize it. You know what I mean?
Oh no, even Austin kind of lost it for me, like that because it's the capital, but also because there's industry there now.
Yeah.
So those guys were a little less, you know. The towns that have industry, the college towns that have like actual jobs you could get, the kids are much more respectful and like within reality.
Right.
The ones that are like far away, Penn State, the bubble is thick. Like those guys think they're like they'll look at you and say it's all about who you know, and it's like you don't even know anybody. What are you talking about? But Texas A&M, that was a place that was far away from everything. That you're like, I am on another planet.
Yeah,
right.
They get crazy there too.
And this is the only thing to do. Like it's the only.
Well,
thing to
I mean,
care
it's
about.
your entire identity.
Right.
It's your entire identity.
And it's the moneymaker. You know, they follow the money. You know, the T-shirts, the restaurants, the alcohol sales. You know, this is why the highest paid person in each state is the college football coach.
It's true. They're making $10 million a year, and you fucking lose a game, which somebody's going to lose every week.
Sure.
And people are like, how are you fucking losing?
You know what?
We gave you $10 million.
You know what's crazy about this conversation?
Yeah.
I have never been more excited for college football this
I
weekend.
know,
Like
I'm
this
really
is
pumped.
week one.
I'm really pumped.
Yeah, I'm really pumped up.
Yeah. Do you bet? Do you gamble?
I do.
Yeah.
I love not great. Just only since the apps made it easy.
Right.
I mean, you have a casino, especially in New York State. It's weird now because I have the, Caesars app, and I do like $20 a game. Nothing crazy. But then you leave the state and you realize, like, oh, these games suck.
They're awful.
And then now you can't like bet on it. And I'm in doing shows in Providence. I'm like, get me across the border. You realize how quickly you become addicted to this shit.
Stanley just started betting in college. He only bet pros because he's from fucking Queens and he didn't know. And I go, who did you bet? He goes, I took Navy in 24. I go, you nuts? They're playing Notre Dame. These fucking
24
Navy
and a half.
kids have other shit to do. They have to be places all day.
I saw that spread. How could I not take it? 24 and a half points.
I think, wasn't it 49 to nothing?
Yeah, 49-3.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was furious.
They almost doubled you up.
Yeah.
It's awful.
You'll gamble.
bet?
Yeah, no. I don't.
No?
I stay away from all addictive things. And actually, I don't like winning as much as I fucking hate losing.
I mean, that's the.
I fucking hate the game.
Stink to lose.
Over my mother.
That was the thing I was told when I started stand up. They're like, I was given good advice. If you kill and it doesn't feel like a drug, then you should probably stop doing stand up.
You should,
Like that. It's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah. Stanley, but you have to gamble, but you know nothing about the sport. I mean, it doesn't seem like you research.
Ron, he chooses based off of
Cool
which
helmets.
one's going to age out of having kids.
Yeah.
No.
Which mascot.
No. Has nothing to do with that. Okay. Look, last season, NFL, 60% against the spread. College, sure, I didn't know anything. I just saw a game. I wanted to get some action. I'm not betting on baseball anymore.
Can you pick it? What's your Super Bowl right now?
It's going to be the 49ers and the Bengals.
49ers and the Bengals.
aren't even going to make the playoffs. I'll make that bet right
I don't even think the 49ers are.
I believe it.
How long are you standing out the door and you don't fucking open it? 49ers are boring me.
Both
and
those
Buffalo's.
teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and the 49ers, all teams that have been around swarming the last
Go through the fucking window, man. Go through.
The Buffalo window's closed. It's over. If they didn't do it fucking 2 years ago, it's fucked. I'll agree on that. But I think the Bengals got juice left.
Bengals, that's a tough division. That's the problem. I didn't know I was on 10-10 wins.
Yeah, it's 10 wins right now. It's the F-A-N. Earl's excited because Aaron Rodgers has come to New York.
Yeah.
You like him?
He hasn't had a win in 50 years.
He gives me hope.
He gives you hope?
Hope. That's all you want from your team.
I know.
Hope.
Well,
you want
that's
more.
the thing.
You want actual championships.
But I mean, you look at the Jets the last 30 years,
Right.
anything but
So
hope.
why'd you stay with them?
Because
Why'd
I'm
you stay?
crazy. Because I love this team too much. It's just it's like a bad marriage.
No, but that's what football is. That's the best part about it. This is optimism. This is the time of year. This is even Jets fans have hope.
It's unbelievable. And now the Giants fans are disappointed because they feel like for once they're behind.
I think they're going to do better than. I think they're going to be better than people think.
They're going to do better than the Jets. That
I don't know
would be
about
great.
that. I think they have an easier division.
I don't. Well, Dallas every year, everyone thinks, and the Eagles, everybody thinks this is another fucking year. They're going to be good.
They got that D lineman from Georgia. He's unbelievable. Yeah.
I don't know how they keep drafting so well. All right, let's go back to the special. You know what I mean? He's not here. He's not here.
Jared Freed, 37 and Single, is available now on Netflix, and you can follow him on Instagram at Jared Freed and on TikTok at Wizard of Pa.
Now, you put this out. Does Netflix tell you how well you're doing with it?
You don't hear much.
You don't hear much.
I made it in December. I paid for it. I did that whole thing and then brought it and was like, hey, I made it with Betches, which is the media company that produces my podcast, You Up. And I was like, we'll make it and I'll pay for it. Betches will be involved, and if and worse comes to worse, I'll go to YouTube land, and Betches has a huge audience. We'll promote it to them, and I'll go on all the podcasts and radio shows that I can get on, and then around, we were talking with Netflix. All of them said no. Amazon, HBO, Peacock, and then Netflix was like, it's not a no yet. And then, which probably means they hadn't watched it yet. And then they finally I get an answer, and they were like, "We're gonna do it. Let's get going." And I'm like, it is interesting, like the way your brain works. You start at like, how the fuck is no one gonna buy this special? How could they not buy this special? What's going on? And then the minute they go, we're gonna do it, you go, how could anyone buy the special? Your confidence goes right out the door.
Yeah.
So since it's come out, like it did top 10 for a week, which
on
is
Netflix.
on Netflix, which is unheard of. 6 in Canada, like it's like things were like, and I'm like. I got shows now. I got a whole new hour, which is like that's like the most exciting part is like new jokes, new material. Like this was December, so since December, I was like, wherever this is gonna be, I'm gonna have to go on the road. I've been on the road. It's not like the road is new to me,
right?
So I have all these shows: Huntington, Long Island, Philly, Atlanta, Providence. I'm at a vineyard in Connecticut. Things don't change much, and then it's all on my calendar. But like. I have a whole new hour, and it's all about my family. And at the end of the special, I put hidden cameras in the green room to tape my parents yelling at me. So the whole idea was going to be my parents were going to give me shit, and then it was going to smash cut to me on stage going, I'm 37 and single, and you would know exactly why.
Right.
And it didn't work in the beginning, so we were like, oh, we'll put in the credits. So in the credits, you could see my mom and dad. Like my mom walked. They didn't know until 2 days before it came out on Netflix that it was going to be happening. So my mom is like, "What?" Like I put out the trailer, and they're in the trailer. She's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, there were hidden cameras in the green room." And like we were gonna like homeless pimp Mike Lavin, who is awesome.
He's great.
He's
man.
unbelievable.
He's great.
He's just such a good person. Great at what he does. He made it. It looks amazing because of him. He was like, should we give them lines in case they don't give you shit? And I was like, oh, no, don't worry. They'll be fine. And I was like, lines won't work. My mom walked into the green room at Gramercy Theater. First thing out of her mouth, she goes, it's a dungeon in here. And you're like, okay, we got it. And so you can see during the credits, it's them, like my mom having me take a picture of them. She's like, I don't like the picture. They're fighting about Katz's Deli. They're fighting about my dad. They have this debate of whether it's Christmas time or not. December 10th, is it Christmas time? And I'm like, this is all so good. And then what's cool is that it's like the post-credit scene that like previews the next movie. Like
next thing
if you came to the live show, it's like the whole hour is about going to the beach with my family. So it's been like a lot of fun to do.
Man.
Yeah,
it's really, really cool to do. Well, you got so much shit happening though, and the fact that it's all coming together is fantastic. And do you have dreams now beyond this? Because this had to be the dream for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I want to I guess like I once heard a quote. It's not mine, but like stand up's the prize. You get to do. If you do everything else, you get to do stand up. Like that's what it is for me. I love doing shows. I love working on new stuff. Like
But there's no like sitcom idea.
Yeah, there always is. But I don't think I have the confidence to say it out loud.
Right.
Of course I have those ideas. Of course I think that there's something, especially in the special 37 and single, like there's a lot of people right now, especially like the millennial generation, that's dealing with a different reality than their parents had. We're the first generation that's going to do financially worse than their parents. And it's a weird thing where boomers are very confident and millennials that have no confidence at all.
Yeah.
And then they have to talk to each other every day. That's a weird dynamic that I think is that we haven't really looked at yet. So I don't know. There's ideas and stuff, but then also I've been I want to go and make YouTube. I went to a horse farm the other week and we put it on YouTube and that was exciting.
That was fun.
Yeah. So it's all exciting.
Also, one of your producers on radio is our guy, Shelby.
The best.
Who started with us. He's so fucking funny.
He's the funniest.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, Shelby, the man behind the curtain. He doesn't want to be on.
I never understand that. He was with us. The corporate life disgusted him.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Other adult things.
Shelby has the most opinions of someone that doesn't talk at all.
It's so funny, yeah. The people that he thinks are shit used to make me laugh my ass off.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I mean, Shelby, I say he's the podcasting producer to the stars. He's the Bezos of podcasting. He's behind all these great shows, and I've known him now a decade, and he's the reason I'm here now. He goes, you want to go on it? I was like, I'll go on Bennington. I would love to. And we have a great at least I think we have a great relationship. He's so quiet sometimes. I don't know how. I hope he enjoys me as much as I enjoy him.
No, you're right. There's no sentimentality about him whatsoever.
No.
You know what I mean?
He is a sitcom character. He would be to me, and I say this in the most loving way because I truly care about Shelby and think he's the best. But he is if they were to do The Office about a podcast or a radio show, he'd be the Creed. You'd be like, wait, why is Shelby doing that? Where is that coming from?
But he also is the face